Hello, Hookah.org. It is Paul here once again with another video for you. This one is a how-to video for cleaning washable hoses using the vinegar and baking soda method. It's pretty simple. All you need is obviously vinegar and baking soda and a funnel that will help you to get both of these ingredients into your hose. I've chosen to use the Palace glass hose as it offers a little bit more visibility than most other washable hoses, so you guys can see the actual cleaning action happening inside. Now the first step is really simple. What you need to do is you need to take the end of your hose, it doesn't matter which one you start with, take your funnel, place it into the end. It doesn't need to be a perfect fit. I mean, as you can see here, this doesn't fit. There we go. Let me actually get that into frame. This doesn't actually fit into the hose. It just needs to fit well enough so that it helps the ingredients to get inside. Now you want to use a fair amount of baking soda, but it doesn't need to be a huge amount. Really only, I don't know, a teaspoon or two at the absolute most. You're not looking to create a science fair volcano here. What you're looking to do is create a chemical reaction that acts to scrub the inside. I just pour a little bit of baking soda at a time, making sure that the funnel doesn't get jammed up. It's just a little, that's probably plenty. Tap that down so that the baking soda goes inside. Spilled a little bit, but it's not really toxic stuff. Let's see, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see, but it's already started to coat. It's already started to coat the inside of the hose. Now I'm going to kind of shake this around, swish it around, and try and cover every interior surface as much as I can, including the inside of this glass piece. Now I've found the best way to do this really is to just stand up, which sadly means I take this out of frame, put a finger over each end of the hose and pass it back and forth as if I were washing with water. Now as you can see, pretty much everything inside has now been coated with baking soda, and you can really see the grime that's in there. And you can see why this hose really needs to be cleaned. And now that brings us to our next step, which is the vinegar. It's pretty much the same process. Let me get some stuff out of the way. But you really want to go slow with this, because as you're adding the vinegar, the reaction between the vinegar and the baking soda is going to start occurring. If you just pour in a ton of vinegar, you're going to end up with, like I said earlier, a science fair volcano. And that is very much not good for this cleaning process, because then the chemical reaction that you're looking for isn't happening inside the hose, it's happening in your drain, down there. And that's great for cleaning the pipes, but it's not so great for cleaning your hose. So you want to go slowly. So, I like to take both ends of the hose and hold them up like this, so that as I pour the vinegar in, it's not just pouring out the other end as well. It can be a little bit of a tricky hand maneuver here. Let me try and make sure that that's in frame. And we just start pouring a little bit at a time. Now you can see that already started to bubble up a little bit into the funnel because of the baking soda that was right there at the opening. You can hear it, hopefully. I'm going to try and bring this closer to the microphone. Yep, for a second there you could hear it bubbling away, but the chemical reaction finished itself between that little bit of vinegar and a bunch of baking soda that was in there. So now that a little bit has cleared itself out, we add a little more. And then just keep doing this process over and over until we've got plenty of vinegar in there. It's hissing and bubbling, but it's not shooting out against the walls or anything like that. Oh, and there we go. you can see that I've added enough vinegar that it's definitely hitting every surface in there, and it's causing the reaction to occur, but it's not shooting out everywhere. That means that those little bubbles of CO2 that are forming are going to be scrubbing the inside wall of this hose and making everything spick and span inside. Now, as you saw right there, the bubbling stopped. That means that most of the CO2 that is going to be produced has been produced. Most of the reaction has occurred. Now, similar to when I was spreading out the baking soda, I'm going to take my finger over each end and slosh it back and forth to make sure that the reaction gets to every little nook and cranny. Which, I mean, in a silicone hose, there isn't much for nooks and crannies, but in your average washable hose, there are a lot of little small, like, kind of ripples inside that really need cleaning. So now we're going to do that, and I'll come back at the end of that. Okay, as you can see, even with that little bit of cleaning and that little bit of action, this glass is considerably cleaner than it once was. Now it's time to pour out the vinegar and baking soda solution, which has, I think at this point, entirely run its course, and then it's time to rinse with some clean water. Now you could probably see there, I only used maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of vinegar and maybe a teaspoon of baking soda, and it really did the job. So now I'm going to pull back this a little bit, use the funnel once again to add the water by just putting it up against the spigot, and clean this guy out. Now that I've filled the hose for the most part with water, as you can see there, it's another just kind of swishing motion back and forth to make sure that it reaches every place and cleans out all that vinegar and baking soda, which really wouldn't make for a pleasant session if you decided to smoke before cleaning this all out. And that's it. And I hope you can see that this is pretty much spick and span at this point. I'm going to actually test it. Yeah, absolutely no vinegar flavor, no baking soda flavor, and no ghosted flavors at all. I don't generally use this method with every cleaning that I do on my hoses. In general, I find that a little bit of lukewarm water does the job just fine. But if you've got a flavor that is really stuck in there and refuses to leave, this is a great option. This will really kind of ghost bust out all those lingering spirits of sessions past. And it's not all that hard to do. It's just a little messy. That's the biggest issue here. So, as you can see, this hose is pretty much spick and span. It's a very effective method. It's just not the, I don't know, not the cleanest method to use, because it can get a little bit messy, especially if you go overboard with the baking soda and the vinegar, which is why I really do suggest doing this in a tub. But when it really comes down to it, this is a very effective method that I don't use for every cleaning that I give my hoses, but I do use when there's a ghost that absolutely refuses to leave. This is calling in the Ghostbusters. This is a very, very effective cleaning method that should really do the job. If this doesn't get rid of the ghost, it might be time for a new hose. So that's it. If you've got problems with flavors sticking around for too long and you don't know how to get rid of them, try this method out. It is absolutely worth it. It's cheap to do. You only need white vinegar and some baking soda and a funnel if you want to make your life a little bit easier. And that's it. Please try this method out if you've done it before, or if you try it on my recommendation, please go down below and give us a comment. Please go onto the forums, let us know what you think. Give us that like, give us that thumbs up. It really helps us out and lets us know what you like to see. And please make any suggestions you have in the comments or on the forums. Once again, this is Paul for Hookah.org saying thank you very much for joining us, and happy smoking.